Hello and welcome to Second Story Brewing. Today I'm going to be brewing a blonde ale that I'm going to be infusing with a strawberry extract. I'm going to do a partial boil, 2.5 gallons I have there in the pot. I'm going to have a 5-gallon batch when we're finished. I'm going to be using 2 pounds of light malt extract dry, 3.3 pounds of extra light malt extract, and that's going to be a liquid, 2 ounces of Fugal hops, and I'm also going to be using a California ale yeast for that. And the strawberry extract I will add in at the very end right before I go to keg this. While we're waiting for the water to come to a boil, if you take your liquid malt extract and put it inside of another pot with water in it, it'll make that syrup a lot thinner and easier to flow out of that can, so when you're going to dump it in, it's a lot quicker. Okay, now that my water is up to boiling, I'm going to add my dry malt extract and my liquid malt extract that I have right over here, and 1 ounce of Fugal hops. And I'm going to let that boil for a half hour. Then I'm going to add the other ounce of Fugal hops and let that continue boiling for the full hour. Okay, I just got done adding all of the ingredients. I'm going to let that go for a half hour, and then I'm going to add my other ounce of hops and then let it go for an additional half hour. One thing that does tend to happen on occasion, when you add those hops, it will want to boil over. And instead of lifting the whole pot up off the stove to remove it from the heat, save that can right there and add cold water to it. And when it looks like it's going to want to start boiling over, dump that can in there and it'll drop the temperature down enough to where you won't have to worry about it boiling over and making a huge mess. I've finished the boil, and at the last part of the boil you want to go ahead and sanitize everything. You want to sanitize the bottom of the lid, the airlock, and also the 5-gallon bucket that everything's going to be going into. And I use this Seabright. I've never had a batch go bad on me using it, and I just sprinkle some in the bottom of the 5-gallon bucket, swirl it around with a rag, and throw my airlock and stuff in there and just make sure everything's real clean. So the next step, I'm going to go ahead and dump this into this bucket, and I'll go ahead and get to that. I got everything dumped into the fermenting bucket, and since that's super hot, what you want to do next, or what I always do, is I dump as much ice as I have in my tray in there, and then I have the milk jug filled with clean water, and I keep that in the freezer to get that nice and cold so I can drop the temperature as fast as I can of this wort, and then it doesn't take as long for you to pitch your yeast. I went ahead and put the yeast in now that it's got down to the correct temperature, and I took a hydrometer reading, so I like to be able to keep track of how much alcohol is actually in this. So when I go to keg this, I can take another reading and it'll tell me how much alcohol I have in it. I hope that by this video you're able to see that it isn't that difficult to make homebrew, and if you have any questions, go ahead and post below, subscribe. I got a lot more videos that are going to be coming up, and thanks for watching.